Hello, everybody. My name is Bruce Montgomery, and this is my colleague, Tracy Priest.
Hey, everybody.
And we're with The Road to Retail. On our podcast, Tracy and I hope to offer tips, insights, and ideas, as well as examples for how small, emerging, challenger CPG brands can build their business. Everything from determining if you're ready to grow, where to start, how to prove it online, how to go about securing distribution at that first national retailer, driving your business through to the consumer, and how to go about finding an investor if that's something you need. The bottom line is we would love to help you be successful by highlighting the many important aspects of this journey to establishing and growing your brand. Tracy and I have made a lot of mistakes along the way and had some successes, and if we can help you save some time, we'd love to. Tracy?
Absolutely. So Bruce and I have been in consumer packaged goods operations for over 30 years. And what we mean by commercial operations is marketing, trade marketing, managing brokers, managing distributors, hiring agencies, mergers and acquisitions, pretty much running the whole gamut of consumer packaged goods. And again, like Bruce said, our passion is to help small emerging brands learn from our experiences, our mistakes, our successes, as well as have friends and colleagues on our show that can share their insights as well. And today we have a very esteemed guest on our show. So Bruce, would you go ahead and introduce our guest today?
Yes, I will, Tracy. Thank you. So today we're speaking with Wayne Bennett. Wayne is the SVP of Retail at ECRM and RangeMe. And I've had the pleasure of working with Wayne personally for many years, a consummate pro, and I think we're going to get a lot out of the discussion today. Wayne, welcome to the show.
Bruce, Tracy, good morning.
So why don't you
doing well?
Yeah, we are. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your background, Wayne, and then we'll roll into the discussion here.
All right. Well, Bruce and Tracy, thanks for having me on the Road to Retail podcast. Glad to be here. So today, as I sit, I am the Senior Vice President of Retail for ECRM and RangeMe, where I lead the effort to grow buyer and retailer engagement with our platforms and services that include both RangeMe and ECRM. And prior to that, Bruce, as you know, I spent over 20 years with Drugstore News, which was a leading industry publication where I was responsible for creating industry engagement with our platform of media publications, events, digital media, and other B2B programs. So my career has been spent working with suppliers and talking and working with retailers, and hopefully today I can offer some good advice to your listeners.
Well, I have zero doubt that you will. Tracy?
Yeah, great. And Wayne, as I was thinking about what you were saying about your introduction and your years at Drugstore News, that's how we met.
That's right.
Many years ago, back when we were young men. So
That's
there
right.
you go.
Young at heart.
Yes. So our first question, Wayne, is tell us a little bit about ECRM and RangeMe and how they can help our audience, small emerging brands, connect with retailers. Just tell us a little bit about what those programs are for the people that may not be familiar with it.
Yeah,
Okay.
and Wayne, 1 second before you dive in, to Tracy's point, can you also be almost Forrest Gump in the initial explanation of what RangeMe and ECRM are? Because some of our smaller listeners might have no idea.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me take a crack at that, guys, and hopefully we can digest it even more if you want. So ECRM and RangeMe is a digitally enabled sales as service company. And we work with retailers and merchants across the entire retail, food, drug, mass, and specialty segments to help merchant teams achieve category growth. And what we do is we provide programs to retailers around the work they do to support product discovery, sourcing, and category line reviews and planning. We help retailers become more efficient, save time, and become more productive with solutions around their needs to find innovation, uncover trends, assess new capabilities, and drive efforts around key initiatives like supplier diversity, sustainability, own brand, and supplier and localization. And we bring buyers and sellers together historically in person and virtually, and now today in a hybrid environment. I also want to talk a bit about RangeMe, and what RangeMe is: a one-of-a-kind platform that helps retailers manage inbound product submission. It is a platform with about 1 million SKUs where retailers and merchants can do product discovery, and it's a major tool in the workflow to help them with their category line review and limited time campaigns around initiatives like sourcing and product discovery. And why that's all important is because we are a sales channel for the suppliers, right? Because of the work we do with the retailers and the engagement that we have across the landscape with merchants and buyers and category managers and that whole merchandising support team, we're working with those people to help them win. And in that engagement, that is where the suppliers can take advantage of the capabilities and platforms and services that we offer. And ultimately, at the end of the day, we are providing efficiency and scale for the retailers and in-kind efficiency and scale for the suppliers. And especially today with, and everything we do is curated for the retailer, right? Helping them save time, helping them save money, helping them save travel. And we do things just much more efficiently to help them win at retail.
Awesome. That's a great description, Wayne.
Okay, so Wayne, using these tools and over the course of your career, you've seen a million brands. What are the couple of things that you've seen from smaller, emerging challenger brands that seem to really, kind of always be there for the ones that are successful? Hey, man, these are the 2 or 3 components of the recipe that seem to always need to be present if you hope to win.
Yep. Well, Bruce, I think, over the years of talking to brands and talking to retailers and working with people like both you and Tracy, I think there are common themes that I have heard more often than not around, I think, the things that suppliers need to win in the marketplace. And, I've got more than 3. I've actually got 5, but I think let me just go through them and I think it'll be quick. One of the most important things that I have heard over the last number of years from the retailer is that the supplier needs to be transparent, right? If you're going to say something, do something, right? Don't kid around and, deliver what you say you're going to deliver and don't say anything less than that. So I think transparency is very important for brands to win. It's very important for you to know your retail customer, right? Know the role that the customer plays as a contribution to your portfolio, and know the consumer of your product, right? And the value proposition that consumer brings to the retailer. I think it's important also that you understand the concept of incrementality, right? Because if something comes in, something comes out. But if you want to be added to the shelf, right, how is that going to be incremental at a lower cost than what something is already in the shelf assortment? So understand the concept of incrementality. You also have to be willing, able, and ready to scale your business, because as a small emerging brand, you may not get all 5,000 stores or 8,000 stores or 10,000 stores. You might start with 300 stores, and that's a huge win. But understand that you have to, at some point, have the ability, willingness, and capability to scale your business across the entire retail portfolio. And today, more than ever, although stores do matter, right, you now must be an omni-channel and digital expert, right? And understand those capabilities and understand how that plays not only in the path to purchase, but understand how the retailer is leveraging these tools as well to help them win and succeed in the retail marketplace. So I hope, guys, those are just a couple of things that your listeners should take to heart and understand.
Yeah, so that reinforces, folks, a couple of the points that Tracy and I have made on previous episodes. So to briefly summarize, we've heard from retail buyers that the only things that they have to manage are their time and their space. And how can you help them do that? So if your product going in does not drive their category, it's not necessarily a win for them. And always remember, the buyers and retailers care more about their category performance than your brand performance.
Right.
And Tracy mentions this all the time, folks, the ability to scale. We've seen a lot of little brands take the huge bite and, to use Wayne's example, get all 5,000 stores and then they can't fund it, right?
Yeah.
And we say all the time, one of our bumper stickers is the only thing a retailer hates more than a product that doesn't sell is one that doesn't ship.
Exactly.
So getting that 300 store tests and absolutely killing it, and then making sure you have the financial wherewithal to expand, folks, that's a big win.
Yeah.
This is a case where 300 is better than 5,000. Tracy?
That's right.
Exactly. Yeah, I was going to re-emphasize that as well, that what Wayne said is 300 is a win, right? You know, you don't have to get all 5,000. It's actually better if you don't. So you can, we call it small ball. That's another one of our bumper stickers. Start small and grow, prove yourself, and then grow with, you know, with the retailer and know that you can scale.
Yeah.
So that's awesome, Wayne. Great insight. So on the flip side of that, Wayne, share with us maybe some of the mistakes that you have seen, you know, small emerging brands. So you shared with us the successes and what they need to do to be successful, but what mistakes have you seen small emerging brands make lately?
Yeah, Bruce, Tracy, I'm sorry. You know, there are a couple of, you know, when I'm in preparing for this today, there were a couple of things that came to mind in terms of the mistakes that small emerging brands make. And I think one of the most important things that they do not do is they don't really know who the retailer is, right? They have no idea who they're talking to, what the retailer is. Do they visit their stores?
Yeah.
I mean, it is amazing to me that if you are a small emerging brand and you have no insight or visibility or understanding of who that retailer is and what they do and the markets they serve and what their stores look like, and you're going in to make a pitch to a merchant there, and you don't have that information, that is a big mistake. And I hear that often from retailers, and that is a big pet peeve. Don't do it. That's a mistake. The other thing is, you know, Bruce and Tracy, everyone listening to your podcast today has a great product. They're entrepreneurs, and every product that everyone that this podcast touches today is a great product. But a mistake that these great products make is that when they're engaging with the retailer, offer the why. Why this product? Why this product? How does this product fit? What role will it play? How easy is it for me as the merchant to work with you? Right? I think these are some of the things you have to discuss when you're talking to the merchant is what is the why and the how, not the what, right? But the how and the why, critically important. And along those lines, I would say if the what, how, and why are extensive and there's a lot to say, challenge yourself to shorten that presentation. Don't bog down on a presentation. Make it short, 3 slides, ask questions, have a discussion.
Exactly. That's what
I would say that those,
That's what we preach on our podcast.
Yeah. And I would say that those are things that I have heard directly from lots of merchants and buyers that I have spoken to over the years of being involved with this industry. Those are the 3 things.
Yeah. And that's great to hear, Wayne, because we talk about that in one of our podcasts about how to prepare. And you'd be surprised, and I'll just pick on a retailer like Stop and Shop. You'll go to a meeting or be on a Zoom call, but you've never been in a Stop and Shop store. You don't know their geography. You don't know what's on their shelf. And that just puts you at such a huge disadvantage going into, you know, any kind of retailer meeting.
Yep. And understand, and Tracy, and for that brand, understand not only your customer, the retailer, but understand your consumer.
Correct.
Know everything about your consumer that you possibly need to know and find those nuggets that make a difference to deliver the why back to that retailer.
Yeah,
Exactly.
another thing, that's a great point, Wayne, because one of the other points that we heard in our interviews with large retail buyers, and also just from experience, is if a small emerging brand can get a meeting, that's great, but buyers are supposed to have meetings, but you got to make sure that it's a fit. Is your consumer a fit for that retailer? And an example Tracy and I use often is if you have a high-end skincare line, probably going to a dollar store is not the smart play, because it's a mismatch of demographic of the retailer and your brand.
Yeah,
So
Bruce.
Go ahead.
Bruce, I just wanted to say, in terms of the matching, I mean, that is what ECRM does at scale, right? We understand the needs and the wants of the buyer, and we understand the capabilities of that supplier and the innovation they're bringing. And what we do at scale is provide a curation around that connectivity and interaction between the buyer and seller. But that still does not mean that supplier, they still need to do their homework.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get them to the dance floor. We'll optimize the connection point because we know what the buyers are looking for and we know the capabilities that the suppliers have, and we'll bring that together. You still got to do your homework. You still got to visit the store.
Right.
Always.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I want to just, this is probably tactical, Wayne, but when you do, sign up for an ECRM program, make sure that you go through your list of retailers and delete the meetings that don't match. Like Bruce said, if Dollar General or Family Dollar is on your list and you're a 1099 skincare, say, no, that does not meet it. Don't take the meeting.
Yep.
Just so you can have the meeting.
But Tracy, what I would say to you that, interestingly enough, know your capabilities, know your fortitude, because if you do have a beauty product, maybe it could be worth having a call with Dollar General, because maybe there is innovation on the value side that your company could collaborate with DG, because beauty is an important platform for DG.
Right. Good
But
point.
you have to know that, right? You as a supplier have to know that what the price points are and what the focus of DG is, in the marketplace. So beauty is important. And if you have a 1099 product, is there some other capability or intellectual property or innovation or something that you're working on that might be collaboratively important to DG?
Yeah, great point. Great point.
Agree. So Wayne, you've touched on a lot of these, but again, over the course of your career in total and now at ECRM and RangeMe, what do you think that retailers want to see from these smaller emerging or challenger brands? You already spoke to incrementality, which is important, because if it doesn't drive category, you've touched on, differentiation, but is there any other color you'd like to add here?
Yeah. So Bruce, I know the retailers talk a lot about sustainability. And it's interesting that retailers who sit on the head of the global supply chain are very instrumental in really managing the sustainability outcome because of their depth and scope of global supply chains. Yet on the merchant side, I do believe that there is ongoing opportunity for brands to continue to talk about their sustainability profile. Right? Not only packaging, but their ingredients. But not only their packaging ingredients, but the way their supply chains look. Because as things continue to move forward, and there are lots of conversations about, scope 3 carbon emissions and greenhouse gas, I do believe that suppliers are probably in a good position to improve upon their activities around their sustainability their sustainability profile. I believe sustainability is a new currency. Ingredients, certifications, packaging, their supply chain, how they run their factories, I think do matter. And it is becoming an evolving new currency of doing business at retail. I think the suppliers today, they need to be engaging their consumers digitally, whether it's on social media, digitally. They need to truly understand where that consumer is in the path to purchase. Obviously, the mobile phone has become a major tool in how shoppers and consumers navigate through products and make product choice and selection. So I think emerging brands today do need to be digitally savvy and aware and involved. And then I think, again, I think it's important that they understand their capabilities, the scalability of their manufacturing capability. And again, as I said, ensure that their supply chains are transparent, know where you're getting your inputs from, know the sustainability profile of your suppliers. And I think those are some of the things that are taking place in retail today that are emerging. And I think soon to be even more so topics of conversation than they have been in the past.
It's amazing how sustainability started out kind of as a quirky little outlier, and now it's becoming table stakes. It's the ante to the
Yep.
game.
I would say it's a new currency.
Yep. Tracy.
Yeah, no, great insight, Wayne. So share with us your insights and opinions about how the pandemic has really changed the retail, environment. I know when the pandemic hit, you guys had to pivot like a lot of people did, retailers. We all in CPG had to pivot, right, in one way or another. But maybe share a little bit about your insights on how that's changed the retail landscape.
Yeah, I mean, for us at ECRM and RangeMe, I mean, one of the big pivots for us was to, stop our in-person events and to make a major digital transformation towards virtual. And that virtual engagement has been a very strong outcome for us in terms of how buyers want to engage with suppliers, especially those suppliers that they are looking to engage with from a discovery, new vendor, new supplier point of view. And I think it's become a very acceptable form of buyer-seller engagement, virtual. Right now, after 2.5, almost 3 years, ECRM has begun to do some live events, and we will continue to scale live events as well as retain virtual and probably maintain an optimization of hybrid type of engagement between virtual and in person. So that's how the pandemic has affected us. I think in terms of retailers and brands, I think with the challenges around supply chain, again, I've said it a few times, I think the need to be transparent, open, and honest has been a major outcome of the pandemic, right? It's important that brands are transparent to their retail partners. And again, understanding the integrity and having resilience in your supply chain are very important outcomes of the pandemic. So I don't know, guys, if that's a good answer,
that's
but
perfect.
that's the answer that came to mind when you asked the question.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you, as kind of an ECRM rookie, I had only been to live events, and when it flipped to digital, the first one I had to go and present at, I was really apprehensive how that would go, and you guys did a really great job. It's simple, it's pretty intuitive, and boy, really effective, because I thought I could do all this here and not have to fly somewhere and spend all that time. So, kudos to you guys for figuring that out so fast.
Yeah, over the pandemic, I mean, we did manufacture, produce, curate lots of meetings in that 2.5-year period. I mean, we were the platform of commerce between buyers and sellers, in that period of time. And now there is some interest and need to go live again. And interestingly enough, I think the buyers have always preferred the virtual. Even before pandemic, there was always, I think, an interest somehow in a virtual, in a virtual setting. But we're going to pivot in a way now where the ability to deliver buyers and sellers will be optimized, really in the way that, for the most part, the buyers want it. Do they want it live? Do they want it virtually? Or do they want it in a hybrid? Right. Yep. And my ask or request for the suppliers is, you need to follow where the buyers are.
Right.
Isn't that the truth?
Absolutely.
So Wayne, as we start heading toward home here, you've touched on this a little bit, but to just drive home the point, can you just reiterate for the folks, what are the successful ingredients that you see these winning small emerging challenger brands really nail?
Well, I think innovation is very important. right? You have to have a product that is needed, but it has to be an innovative product that can deliver incrementality, right? Either better than something that is in the current assortment set or something that is completely new to scale and drive the category even beyond where it is today. So I think you need to bring that forward because innovation is the lifeblood of our industry. I think you need to, obviously deliver results is important because if you don't produce and you don't perform, then you're going to get delisted, and then that's not going to be a good thing for you. I think it's important that you have to leverage good people, good talent, right? People like yourselves and others in the industry that have the expertise, the knowledge to help these small emerging. Don't be afraid to ask for help. There's plenty of good people out there that can help you, and, leverage the relationships that you have, in your network to help to connect the dots, to help you go faster, to succeed in the marketplace.
Nice.
Awesome. That's
Tracy?
perfect. Yeah. So our closing question is: what is the one thing that the Wayne Bennett now wish he knew when the younger Wayne Bennett? So just share with us maybe one thing, a key learning that you've had over your career that you would share with us that you wish you knew earlier in your career.
Well, Tracy, it's a good question, and I thought about it. I think at the end of the day, go with your gut, right? If you're passionate about it, go for it.
I love it.
Maybe back in 1980 something, maybe I was passionate about, working on Wall Street. If I would have done that back then, maybe either I would have been retired now with $100 million or I would have been in jail. I don't know which one, but maybe I should have, just be passionate, go with your gut. And, that's what I would say I would do if I, was true to my career earlier on in my life.
Wayne, can you put probabilities on the 100 million versus jail, or should we leave?
I would say 100 million, probably about 95%.
Excellent. Excellent.
I love it.
I like it. So Wayne, how can people get in touch with you to learn more about ECRM or RangeMe, whether it's LinkedIn or whatever? Yeah.
Well, Bruce, Tracy, as you know, I love LinkedIn. I wish I would have thought of LinkedIn. It's a great tool. It's a great resource. You can ping me on LinkedIn. You connect with me on LinkedIn. If you don't want to do that, very simply, then my email is wayne.bennett, like Tony Bennett, BENNETT @rangeme.com. Wayne.bennett @rangeme.com. If you want to email me, happy to address any common question, concern, retail question you have. And those are probably the two best ways, via email or LinkedIn.
All right, Wayne. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Tracy, the big finish, baby.
Absolutely, Wayne. Thank you so much. Great insight, great wisdom, great knowledge. I knew you'd bring it. And just encourage our audience to look for this podcast on our LinkedIn page, Road to Retail. We also can be found on Spotify, and as also recently we've been added to iTunes. So lots of platforms to connect with us, or even our YouTube channel. So look for this podcast coming up soon. Thanks again, Wayne. Thanks, Bruce.
Hey, Bruce and Tracy, really appreciate your time here today and what you guys are doing. I appreciate the passion and the opportunities you bring to the marketplace, and keep going, and let's continue to travel the road to retail. So guys, thanks. Great seeing you both.
Thanks, Wayne. Good luck out there, folks.
Thank you.